Hi, I'm Jack, and this is my past and present bucket list. For me, mine started a long time ago with a 3-month 4-state trip, with the highlight being what they call the Old Gun Barrel Highway. From Leonora to Carnegie Homestead, we travelled the gun barrel in just normal 2-wheel drive utes and station wagons, something that you just did in those days. Nothing like today. It was 7 days of hard slog, no showers, no toilets, and the only bit of water we could get were at the occasional bores. We were able to climb through the middle of the Olgas on a track that is now closed. We climbed all over Ayers Rock. There were no restrictions apart from the secret woman's place. We travelled through the Flinders Ranges and Wilpena Pound. In those days, there was no problems with travel. You just got in your car, your van, and went. Fast forward now till 2 years ago when we bought the D-Max and we bought an off-road caravan. We decided to do a month-long trip up to the Gulf. First major stop was Adele's Grove, where we will base ourselves for a few days. Adele's is an amazing place. There is so much to do, or if you want to, you can just relax and do absolutely nothing. Just up the road you have Lawnhill National Park, where you can either go by boat or canoe up the river to the magnificent gorges, occasionally spotting a freshwater crocodile. You can swim up there under the waterfalls, or you can just laze around and do a few walks. No, I don't like that one. Just up from there is Riverslea Fossils, where you can spend hours there exploring and looking at the fossils that they have found over the last few years. As well as up there, you have Lawnhill National Park, where you can hire canoes and canoe up the gorges, or you can have a guided boat trip. If you are lucky along your trip, you will often spot a rather large freshwater crocodile and quite a variety of different birds. As well as the canoes and the boat, there are actually quite a few nice walks. Some of them are only short, and there's a couple there that are really big and go through the 2 gorges and up onto the top of the cliffs, where you overlook the waterfalls, and the views around there are absolutely magnificent. From there, we went on the old Savannah Way and ended up travelling up to... Stop! From Adele's, we took the old Savannah Way to Doomadgee. It's an interesting dirt track, and if you're lucky you might come across people mustering huge groups of cattle with helicopters and horses. Next stop was Lorella Springs. This place is amazing, with beautiful thermal springs and some amazing places to see, such as Nanny's Place, Nudie Hot Springs, the Arch, and Billy's Camp, which is the site of the old homestead. You can quite easily spend anything from a week to a few weeks there, but probably the best time of year is to go up early in the dry season, as we got there around late July, early August, and they hadn't had a very good wet season, so it was very dry, and a lot of the water holes had dried out. You can also go out to Rosie's Camp and the secret fishing spot, and out to some other fishing places right up on the Gulf. We didn't get to go there this trip, but I'm pretty sure our next one we will be heading out that way for some fishing. Last year we went up to the Cape for 4 weeks of fun, and another bucket item half ticked off the list, as we were going to go back this year to finish it off, but circumstances with Gray made us put it off till 2020, hopefully. The highlights would have to have been Elam Beach, Sam's Creek, and its own waterfall that we just sat back with a bottle of wine and enjoyed the peace. Loyalty Beach, which we shared with the horses. 5 Beach Run, which was great fun. We did a day trip over to the islands and spent some time both on Thursday Island and the other island, which I can never remember its name. The old telly was fun towing an off-road camper trailer this time, and although we missed a few places due to having a very good wet season and the water in some of the creeks was too high, we were able to do most of it. Probably the best bit of fun was dragging the camper through Gunshot and the exit that we had to do that's now closed and is sort of where it's a winch only. Our next trip up there, we're going to try and get to do the Crib, the Frenchman's and the Old Coach Road, as these weren't open when we went through, and we were sort of limited to only a few weeks because of school. And I don't think they would have been very impressed if we stayed away up there a bit longer than we're going to. Next year is another bucket list to do. 3 months, 3 states, starting with Litchfield and Kakadu, then a month or 2 on the Gibb River Road, including El Questro, McGowan's, the Munga track and everything in between, then to Broome, Cape Levesque, Bungle Bungles, back to Catherine for a few days in Mataranka, and finally Lorella Springs, Adele's Grove, and then slowly home. 2020 sees us doing the Cape again to do the tracks we missed. And if possible, we're going to try and do a month or so down in the high country in autumn and try and fit the Simpson on the way home. 2021 sees us hooking up the van and doing an 8-month trip in WA and SA. And that's another 2 off the list. That's all I have planned so far, as they are the more harder trips for us in distance. Eventually we'll head down with the van to Tassie for a few months. But apart from a few weeks here and there through the next few years, we will try and tick off a few of the things that are a little bit closer to home. So fingers crossed, health-wise, we'll be able to do these trips and be able to tell everybody about them. Thanks. Thanks for listening to our bucket list, and I hope you enjoy the photos that I've been able to show. Thanks.